Hello Sunday people, how are we all doing? With Easter coming up and it being close, why not learn how to make this gorgeous Easter wreath? It's a brioche style dough that's rich and unctuous, it's soft and delicious, and instead of it having boring painted eggs on top, we are adding our favourite chocolate mini eggs. It's colourful and joyful and will make any Easter table look absolutely stunning. So why don't you come with me and I'll teach you how to make this cute Easter wreath. Easter bread, I thought I'd wear a colourful top to go with the theme that it's Easter. So here are the ingredients. If you want the recipe, head to my website, it's in the description box down below, and there you can find all the quantities and how to do it. But I'll just quickly run through what we've got right here, and then we'll get stuck into making this thing. It's easy to get the ingredients together. The longest bit is it rising, but you end up with a fabulous result, and it doesn't take too long to get these ingredients mixed and rising. So first up, 540 grams of flour, 75 grams of butter. We're gonna take maybe a teaspoon of salt, 7 grams of fresh yeast, 2 eggs, 240 mils of milk, and then we're gonna add a teaspoon of sugar into the milk once we've warmed it, and then I've got a few little additions. I'm gonna add the zest of half a lemon, I'm gonna add a nice big teaspoon of cinnamon, and I'm also gonna put some poppy seeds in it. Again, all not necessary. You can just leave it at lemon, and then we're gonna decorate it at the end, not in the traditional way, as you can see with the big boiled eggs, but we're gonna use mini eggs. These things are as colourful as my top and absolutely delicious to eat. So a nice way to decorate it, plus you get a little bit of chocolate in there, which we all know is my favourite, and some colourful sprinkles, because like I said, for lots of us we're coming into spring, and this is just a joyous little celebratory wreath to commemorate that. Also, if you're looking for another Easter bread, up here I've added my video on hot cross buns, or perhaps you're looking for something savoury. It's all in this easy put together playlist, so click on that and you might find something you like there. But that's all the talking done, so let's make the dough. Now, I would suggest for this dough that if you have one, use a machine and a dough hook. We can make this by hand, but it's quite a soft dough, which does make it a little bit harder to work with. This way, the dough hook does all the work for you. You don't have to knead it for as long because it's being worked by the machine, and you end up with a really great result. So if you do have one, I definitely suggest that for this, you use it. But if you want the workout, then just use your hands. Either or. But I will be making it in here for speed and ease. You need to make sure that when you're making this recipe, your butter here is room temperature, because we're just going to add it in as it blends. So you need it to be soft, because if it's cold from the fridge, it will not be in easily. So that does need to be room temperature. And then the other thing we need to do is warm up our milk and activate our yeast. I've spoken about this before, but make sure if you're using yeast from a packet that you've already opened, maybe last year when you made hot cross buns, who knows? Make sure it's active. If after 5 minutes of it being in the warm milk, you don't see any foam, then you know that maybe it's not active, and I wouldn't even bother continuing on with the process, because we need this to rise, and if your yeast isn't active, it's not gonna work. So that's your first test, and if it's not working, then get down to the shop and buy some more yeast. So, having said that, let's make it. So I'm going to put the milk on the stove and start warming that up to just above blood temperature. And while it's warming, we're going to add to the flour a tablespoon of cinnamon, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 2 tablespoons of poppy seeds, and the zest of half a lemon. And we're going to mix that all together so that all the things are incorporated in the flour. Once your milk has warmed, pour it back into your jug and check the temperature with your finger. You want to make sure that it's not burning hot. We're also going to add in a teaspoon of sugar to activate that yeast. And all we need to do is crack these 2 eggs into a bowl and beat them so that they're easy to incorporate into the dough. And by that point, your yeast mixture should be foamy, and we should be nearly set and ready to go. So I'm going to add in the flour. I just realised there that I actually hadn't weighed out the sugar for this recipe. We need 105 grams of sugar, which is also going to get added to our flour. So let's add that in. You know, even though I know all the things that are going together, sometimes I just forget stuff. It's what happens when you cook at home sometimes, but you know what? It still would have made a lovely dough that would have been delicious, but not necessarily sweet. So we've added in the sugar, put it down, and then to our yeast mixture, I'm gonna add the beaten eggs. So give your egg and your milk mixture a stir, and we're gonna turn this on and we're gonna slowly incorporate it on a low speed and let the dough work for about 4 to 5 minutes. And then we're gonna gradually add in our butter. So turn it on. Make sure you don't turn it on full whack first of all, because it will go everywhere, which is something that I often do. And also, great chef tip, you can take a tea towel, place it over and let it turn so that them clouds of flour do not go everywhere. So let's see what happens, shall we? We'll get that sugar in first and then we'll slowly add this. Okay, the dough, here we are. As you can see there, I managed to pour some of the mixture on the side. So hopefully this recipe will work, as we are now a little short on yeast because half of it ended up down there. I also had to add a tiny little bit more milk because obviously the dough was now not moist enough, which is never advisable to add it, but we had to. But anyway, we have got to this lovely, now soft dough. It's like a little pillow. So what we need to do now is incorporate the butter. So obviously you don't need to take it out, I'm just taking it out to show you what it looks like, but we're gonna put it back in and then we're gonna drop in nugget by nugget the butter until it's fully incorporated, and then the dough is done. So I added in the cubes of butter one by one, by one by one, and essentially what you need to do is work the dough until all that butter is incorporated and the sides of your pan, the sides of your bowl are clean. That means it's picked up everything from the edge, it's all into the dough. It's probably going to take 1 or 2 minutes, but then you end up with this thing. Honestly, it's so supple and so soft, it's absolutely stunning. So this is an enriched dough, obviously, because it's got eggs and butter. So we're kind of on the same line of a brioche, but just a little bit different. So now it's done. We've got to let it triple in size. So I'm going to add a touch of oil to this bowl, wipe it all around, sit that in, cling film on, warm place, probably 1.5 hours to 2 hours. And then we just got to braid it, let it rise again, decorate it, cook it. So as I said, these bits don't take very long unless you have to do clean up on aisle 6 where you drop it all. Otherwise, very quick. It takes 7 to 10 minutes of kneading in here, which is why I said it is better if you can use a mixer. It doesn't need to be fancy, it just needs to be something that's got a hook on it. That means you don't have to work so hard because of the way that you have to add the liquids. There's a lot of liquid and there's a lot of butter. So we'll get this in, get it rising, and I'll see you guys in a bit. You want to make sure that that cling film is nice and tight so that it can really keep all that warm air in there. Sit it somewhere warm, be it your kitchen, the airing cupboard, sunny corner, wherever it may be, and watch this bad boy rise. And we'll see it in a bit. Make sure it's all tucked in. Wrap it up. As you can see here already, this side a little bit fatter than this side. That's my bad uneven rolling, but nevertheless, it's still gonna look beautiful. And then we're gonna take some mini eggs and we're gonna stick them in now, nestle them in. Oh my God, they smell amazing. Oh, I love a mini egg. Pop them in there. make it look super cute. Maybe we'll put in 2 more. And that's it. How a few for you. And now, I'm just gonna cover it up for another half an hour to 40 minutes, and then we'll come back to it. We just need to glaze it, and we're gonna bake it. And I can't wait to get a slice of this thing, because it started raining here, it feels pretty miserable, and this just looks so joyful and fantastic. So hopefully it's gonna taste banging too. So I'll see ya in about 35-40 minutes. Oh my God, we just had the most massive fail. For some reason my camera didn't record. But as you can see here, I've glazed it and I used 1 yolk and half of the white, blended it together so it was really good. Made sure I evenly coated all of the wreath, and then hundreds and thousands went on to make it joyful and colourful. Be whether you're coming into spring or coming into autumn, this will just bring an absolute blaze of colour to your Easter table. Now, I've got to get this back in because I just had to pull it back out because I completely didn't record. So let's hope it doesn't make too much of a difference on the rise. Let's get this bad boy in. The oven went on to 185. Keep an eye on it. It's going to take about half an hour. My oven's a bit hot, might need to turn it round. Sorry it's a rush, but this is what happens when you have to take bread out of the oven. Ah! And there it is, a beautiful wreath. I mean, look how pretty it looks. All them gorgeous little coloured hundreds and thousands, and wonderful little eggs, chocolatey eggs. I can't wait to get into it. It has only been about 25 minutes, but we know Del, all I ever want to do is slice into the thing. But you know, maybe we can wait 1 or 2 minutes longer. Also, apologies for what just happened on the last bit. I have been doing this for, I think, just about a year. I do all the editing, I do all the stuff. I'd never done any of it before. I've had to learn this whole new thing, and I've really got so much better at making sure I always push play on the camera so that when we're rolling, all is good. But for some reason, this time I didn't. So basically what I did, as you can see, it had doubled in size by the point that I came to glaze it. So it had been about 40 minutes or so when it had doubled. I glazed it with an egg yolk and about half of the white, which is why you end up with this lovely dark brown colour, because it's got more of the yolk in it, which I much prefer. If you like a lighter version, do the whole egg, but I quite like this like darkish bake because it just looks really inviting. Yeah, I can't believe I just forgot to press play, so apologies for that. But this is it. It had about 35 minutes in the oven at 185. I did turn it down to 180 for about the last 10 minutes or so because it was starting to get quite dark, so I didn't really want lots more colour on it, but it does just look fantastic. I mean, so pretty. So let's cut a slice open and see how it is. Again, I should probably wait a bit longer, but I can't be bothered. And you know, it's never great to slice bread when it's super warm and out the oven, but whatever, we're going for it. Oh. Lovely. Oh, it smells delicious. Oh, and it's just like soft and yum. Oh, yum. It's really great. The poppy seeds, delicious. Them little bits of sugar on the top, delicious. Oh, it's rich. The texture of it is just lovely. It pulls apart in these lovely, like brioche-like strands because it's rich and dark. Oh, yum. And it's a lovely thing to do for a cute centerpiece for Easter. You know, it's just a nice bit of sweetbread. You can have it with jam. You could just toast it and have it with butter if it was a day old. Or just eat it when it's warm and hot out the oven. I just eat one of the little eggs. Oh, yeah, yum. The little cinnamony note, the lemon, it's all absolutely fabulous. And it makes for something different instead of a hot cross bun. This gorgeous Easter wreath. Yes, you've got to put a little bit of effort into it. There's a little bit of rising time. As you can tell, the sun has moved around my house from when I began this morning, but it doesn't matter. You end up with just this lovely enriched, soft, sweet dough. Oh my God, it's yum. And that is this week's recipe. Some delicious Easter bread for your centerpiece on your Easter table. So let me know if you make it. I always love to hear from you all. And if you're new and you've never been here before, give me a little like, give me a little subscribe. That way you'll never miss out on anything that's coming out of the Dishes with Del kitchen. But for now, I'm gonna cut me another little slice of this. Put the kettle on for a cup of tea and get stuck in. I'll see you all next week. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great week. And I will see you all later. Ciao.